Welcome to NewFilmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. I'm Carolyn McDonald, and I'm here with Marcella Ochoa to talk about her film, Hour of Blood. Let's take a look at a clip.
Promise me you'll return.
I promise. I'll come back for you. Te quiero mucho, mi amor.
Marcella, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, so nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you too. So first of all, I want you to talk a little bit about the history that inspired this film.
So I am from San Antonio, Texas. So the history about my short is it's inspired by true events. In 1910 to 1920, Mexican ranchers were going missing, they were being killed, and it is not something that's talked about in school. It's not in our history books, but I always found this interesting, especially from Texas, and I knew that I wanted to do a short about it, and I write a lot of horror, and I love telling social justice stories through a genre lens. I just think you can reach a broader audience by doing that, and they'll learn something at the end of it. So that was really the inspiration behind it, and I wanted to lean more into horror because often what happens to our communities is a horror.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it was a story I wanted to tell, and I just wanted to educate an audience of what was happening. There was a massacre that took place that a lot of people don't know this history.
Right, absolutely. And to blend it in a way that I think that would tap into your community. It's a lot of communities around the world.
It is. I absolutely agree. And when I shot this last year, I didn't even think it would be so relevant to today, even what's happening here in our city of Los Angeles. It's sad that it is still actually so relevant to today, not only here, but around the world. Yes.
So, and one thing I wanted to commend you is being able to tell a period story. You know, talk about your production process. Well, first of all, go backwards or go forward. The scripting to take this incident or series of events, and put them in a horror film. Talk about your approach to doing that.
So I knew that I wanted to tell this story, but I just didn't know exactly how. And then when I saw the TV shows, Lovecraft Country, Watchmen, how they did the Tulsa Massacre, and I thought it was so brilliant the way they did it. And I was like, okay, one day I want to somehow do this Texas Massacre. I don't know. And I was trying to figure it out and crack it. And then I'm always inspired by Guillermo del Toro. And so Pan's Labyrinth is one of my favorite films. And I was like, well, I think that's how I crack it. It's getting into this young daughter's mind who's on the ranch where her father's missing, and how is she really perceiving the atrocities of what's going on. So it's really in her head. She thinks these demons are coming. There's a plague, but in the reality, that's not what was happening. And so that really cracked it. And once I cracked it, I'm a writer, so like the writing process was fairly easy for me. It was a difficult subject matter, but once I did it, the horror, that's what I love to do, is write horror. The writing process then just came very, very easy. And then as far as the creative process of the production, since it is period, I was like, where are we going to find a cabin that looks like 1915 Texas, because we shot it here in Los Angeles. So that, to me, I was like, okay, well, it has to be the location where I need it to look like Texas. And my locations manager is a good friend of mine. He's actually from Texas. He found this great cabin that everyone shoots at for Westerns, and it's up by Magic Mountain. So I was like, okay, it's like in the middle of nowhere. I was like, okay, we have the location. And then since it is period, costume was so important to me, like it needed to look authentic. And I have a fashion design background, so costume is like my favorite thing to work with my costume designer. And so I was so specific of like this Westworld look of like her blue dress of like on a ranch, and specific to the cowboy hat, specific how their boots, everything. And so my costume designer was like, I love that we have a shorthand, that you know everything from material, how you want it to look. And my costume designer made that dress like from scratch exactly how I wanted it. And then I did all the production design because I was like, I want it to look exactly how I want it. And I found these like great stuff on Etsy, like these really old, really interesting Western pieces. And so that was really the look of it, how I wanted. And then I brought my incredible cinematographer on board, Abe Martinez, who's big in the TV world. So he's this Lincoln Lawyer. He just, Cobra Kai. So he's huge in TV, and he wanted to do horror. And I was like, okay, well, I want this very specific look of the red that's her imagination, and the blue in reality, and the woods. Like, can we do it? And it's not going to look corny, like red trees. And he's like, no, we can do it. And so with him, because I had all this vision in my head, I'm like, but can we achieve it where it doesn't look ridiculous and it looks scary? And he's like, absolutely. And so he was kind of the perfect piece, and he actually came on board as a producer. And then once he was on board, he brought all his huge crew with him. So some of the people lit Marvel movies. And I'm like, that's why it looks so like beautiful, that red. He got this great camera package, so it looks like a big feature film, and that's what I wanted it to feel like. And so it was just all the pieces of everyone that I've known for years, like I've worked in Hollywood for years. It all came together, and once they read the script, they believed in the story so much. And Abe is also from San Antonio, like me. So he's like, we have to do justice to our home state, to our ancestors. And that's when it all really clicked as far as like behind the scenes of getting it all creatively and production-wise made.
You did a wonderful job, because I've made a Western, a bigger budget Western, and I was so impressed with the look of it. You know, it was so authentic. And I loved your choices as a director, you know, too, you kept it intimate. And I think that was what made it so authentic.
Yes.
Was that you didn't go for wide shots with horses or anything, you know, you kept it right in there.
Yeah, because I wanted to tell this intimate story. I mean, it is devastating, it is emotional, and I think it also felt scarier, especially I wanted to feel claustrophobic in that cabin. And I think that is scarier when you're a young girl and you're stuck in a cabin with a demon. As an audience, we're terrified for her. And I just wanted people to feel what they would have felt like, you know, when this was happening. Absolutely. That you don't know any day someone's coming to your door like what's going on right now. So that's the feel I definitely wanted it to feel.
At night.
Yes. And everything's scary at night. And especially you don't know who's coming to your door, taking you away at night. And so that I wanted to come across. So I'm glad it did.
Oh, definitely did. And even with the choice we saw the father at day, too. I was very aware of how you had that relationship. Even the flashbacks were day.
Yes, because I wanted to like have hope and like that loving family. And then, of course, everything that happens is, you know, the horror of it all.
Really fantastic. And you said you shot up near Magic Mountain?
Yeah, it was about, I would say 15 minutes about west, I think, of Magic Mountain. There's just like this open area land of this cabin that looks like Texas, and people shoot there. Any kind of Western, people shoot and rent out that cabin. So it was the perfect location. But it was hot. It was 102, I think, when we shot. So that cabin was very, very hot. So we had to have these tents outside with like the big fans and the mist. But it was a tough shoot. It was a tough shoot, and also woods and night. And my actress was 16, so then you can only have her for so many hours, and she needs so many breaks. So it was tough on multiple levels. And my demon, in his mask, he had to take breaks because it gets very hot. So it's like building in breaks for your actress, for your demon, for, you know, just because it's hot, getting people water. It was a really difficult 2-day shoot, and logistically.
But it added to it, I felt like
Yes.
it added to the tension and the
It did.
poignancy.
Yes, my actors felt it.
Good for them. Really great actors, really great actors.
They were incredible. I didn't know who I was going to cast for my young actress because it was a 16-year-old role, and it's so difficult and it's so emotionally taxing, and I think the short lays on her shoulders if it works or not. And one of my friends, I brought in Liza Morales as my producing partner, was really good friends with this young actress, Isabella Leon, that was on Hulu's Under the Bridge. And I said, oh, I just saw her in that. She was great. And so she set up a meeting, we met, and she just got this character. I was just telling her about it, and she got emotional, and like tears were in her eyes, and she felt like what that young daughter would have felt like. And I was like, oh, she's she's it. She, like, I didn't need anything more. Like, she got it. And she came on set and she was so collaborative. She's like a sponge. Like, you give her a note and she's incredible. And she was a powerhouse. I mean, crew was crying on set on her emotional scenes. Audiences, like, that's the big scene that you see people crying. And so I knew it was going to make it or break it on her.
Right.
And then for the father, Jesse Garcia, who people know from Flaming Hot, he's one of my closest friends. And so he was so supportive, even when I was just telling him about I was writing the script. And so when it came time to cast, he's like, I'm on board. I want to do it. I want to support. And it was an important story. And then he actually came on board as an executive producer, and his notes were great. And he was like really my rock through the whole process. So like having people you're close to and like really understand the story and really supportive, it shows on screen, like when they really care about it. And then the other missing piece was the demon actor, where I'm like, it has to be someone who is terrifying, who's a great creature actor. And my special effects makeup artist had worked with this actor for years. He was this incredible creature actor, Kirk Harley. And then he just was terrifying. He was 6'4", became the demon, and it just was complete. And I think each one of those characters, it just wouldn't be the same without each of them. So it all just came together so organically. It was incredible.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Well, thank you so much for coming to talk to us today. Where can we follow you and find out more about this film and your other work that you're going to be doing?
So I'm on Instagram, so it would just be at Marcella Ochoa, just my name.
Okay.
But yes, and I post about this film and other stuff that I'm writing, and it's just mostly all horror and sci-fi. So yes.
Okay. All righty, we will. Thank you so much.
Thank you, so nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.